What's up, Frugalnauts, Algo fam? What is happening, guys? We are live today on a Sunday afternoon, Memorial Day weekend. I hope you guys are all enjoying the extra long weekend for most of you out there in the U.S. And if you're abroad, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show here. Hope everyone is doing good today. As you know, I'm Frugal BC. We're going to talk. We got a lot of news to talk about today on our live stream. Obviously, we're going to look at the charts, both the regular crypto top 100 crypto charts and the ASAs. See what's going on with those Algorand coins, and we got a lot of news from a lot of different sectors. So we'll just talk about those. Like one of his, I titled it "What's Wrong with Algorand." This was a tweet that came out that brought up a lot of issues with what's going on with Algorand right now and its price compared to other coins. Obviously, we know it's the bear market, but Algorand even underperforming bear market expectations compared to other cryptos. AJ weighs in on this with a somewhat negative Algorand tweet. Now, AJ is a member of the BitBoy crypto team. He's talking about talks about Algorand a lot, and he had a very interesting tweet about the lack of hype in Algorand. And someone else also says it just comes down to supply. So that's going to be our long story today. Is there trouble with Cometa? Or is it all nonsense? We're going to look at this now. Someone made some accusations about. It turns out it's a little horse apiece there. So we're gonna dig into that story. One of the largest non-USD stable coins is being launched with Hedera, so that's good news for the Hedera network for HBAR fans around the world. Ron DeSantis says he wants to protect Bitcoin rights. Now, however you feel about left, right, whatever, we're going to dive into what this means for regular folk and how politics in crypto, how they're intersecting. It's very, very interesting. Not always the way I would have thought. I don't really want to get too political on this show, but definitely matters. You can't really not talk about it when crypto is at stake. So, and this one's interesting. A dormant $15 million Ethereum wallet. So Ethereum wallet holding $15 million worth of Ethereum. That goes back to it's been basically asleep since the ICO of Ethereum has woken up after 8 years. We're going to see what that little wallet's up to. Someone's sitting on a nice chunk of change with Ethereum. And Fahrenheit, this is interesting. Fahrenheit has been chosen to buy the failed lender platform, whatever you want to call it, Celsius. So a little irony there with it being, or maybe coincidence, it being called Fahrenheit, chosen to buy Celsius, switching to those freedom units. And the Celsius situation has been a total mess and really, really hard to follow. I've been trying to keep track of it. I haven't been doing many videos on it just because it's so confusing, and I would rather not do it than get it horribly wrong so you guys don't know what's going on. Also, another cool one, Osmosis, which is a altcoin on the Cosmos network, added to Coinbase. So we're going to take a look at that. Nothing too fancy. Let's see. Didn't say Alvarez. Says he bought some. Welcome to the show, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Says he bought more algo today. Well, you definitely got a good deal. I hope. I thought it was a good deal at 16 cents. Now it's at 15 cents. But it's not going to be that. The thing about that, and we'll get more into this. The thing about that, though, is it's not going to be 15 cents forever. You know what I mean? It's not going to be it's not going to be 14 cents or 15 cents during the bull market. I don't know how high it's going to go. It just historically has underperformed other coins. But it doesn't mean that it's not going to be. It's definitely going to go up from 15 cents. I hope. But we're going to dig all into that, why maybe Algorand hasn't been performing as well, why it hasn't matched the other coins. That's kind of our big story, so we'll get into that. Let's start with the charts. And by the way, guys, at any point, I would love it if you'd hit that like button and subscribe button. I'll probably remind people later on because we'll have more people on the show. But likes, comments, feel free to comment in the chat. I love it when people chat. I try to answer everybody. I used to be able, maybe I can do it here. No, it doesn't look like it can. I can do it from Restream, but it's been crashing my stream when I do it, so I can't bring people up on the screen like I used to, which I really liked doing. It's kind of a bummer. But yeah, I got merch if you want to look cool like me. You can get the cool hat and look just like I got. Probably look a lot better than me. Let's be honest. Super chat's always appreciated, by the way, and totally up to you if you can swing it. Always helps support the channel, makes it more financially viable. Trying to get this channel to the point where it's self-sustaining and basically can help pay the bills here. So right now it makes a little bit of side income. We want to get that up there. So any support is welcome. But of course, if you can't afford it or you don't want to, that's fine too. But enough about that. Let's look at the chart, see how things are going there. Yeah, so Pepe is trending, and it's trending because it's down a bit. We'll get into that. Actually, Bitcoin is up now 3.5% on the week. Most of that happening in the last 24 hours. And you can see that little dip up. And most of the charts look like this. So Ethereum kind of following suit. Some like BNB, everyone kind of following the trend, some more than others. Cardano, a nice little 5% bump. Matic at an almost 9% bump. That's an especially good one. Solana's up. Solana's a good price mover. I hate the coin. This is one of the things about crypto is that you kind of have to separate price from utility. Solana just does everything wrong, and it's a great price mover. And I don't understand it. I still won't buy it, but Litecoin, Polkadot. Yeah, someone brought up Stellar Lumens. Also, from what I understand, doing a lot of cool stuff behind the scenes, but no one's excited about it. Shiba Inu, yeah, it's either all around 3%. And my Cosmos is about 4. I'm a big fan. I skipped over it there. I'm a big fan of Cosmos. It's good. It's a good performer in bull markets, and I just like the coin. I like the project. Monero Privacy Coin at 4. Yeah, so they're all around 3-4% for the most part. Maybe not Bitcoin Cash. Little Dow tends to do the opposite of everything else. So when the market is up, I've noticed it's been down. They're up a little bit, 2.3%. Average, I'm doing pretty well at 8%, just ticked over on the week. New protocol up a little bit, $1.65, still under what some of my buys were around the $1.70 range. VeChain looking good, 7%. And I like VeChain. You might see that one on the, if you watch UFC, you will see them on the mats at the UFC. They're the official blockchain sponsor of UFC. Algorand sponsors drone racing, and Hedera is sponsoring like this cool karate type UFC type event. It's all karate, and you can watch it on YouTube. They're free. You can watch, it's like 4 hours of fighting. So if you're into that, you can do that. Quant doing okay, and yeah, ApeCoin and Algorand both down 6%. And I checked before the show. That's pretty high up there for worst losses in the top 100. Graph is actually nipping at its heels. In fact, according to that market cap, the Graph should actually have surpassed Algorand. I'm not sure why not. I don't know if it's just you have to do it for a certain amount of time before they make the flip. But the Graph is actually at 1,093,000,000, and Algorand's only at 1,092,000,000 in market cap. So it should actually be higher. And Algorand has good volume. I mean, it's got higher volume than a lot of the coins around it. That's what's super interesting. And we'll talk about that. But let's just go right to Vestige. To take a little. You probably saw the chart behind me. Algorand not looking great. Dipped down into that 14-cent range. KubeCoin pumping, as you can see. While Pepe is down a little bit, let's just see what's going. Chips still leading the way, and these are sorted by TVL, not market cap, which makes it interesting. DeFi token is up. Opulus not so much, down on the week, also the day. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I really wish they had the change for 7 days. I think that's a better metric how coin is doing. Realio token, this dude's kind of even up a little up on the week though. That's his Realia token. Payday coin still up there, is up on the week, not very much, but it is up. Bank down a little bit. I don't know much about Realia token. Yieldly up a little bit. All you Yieldly holders. What was Yieldly up to? It was up to like 3 or 4 cents or something like that. Had a pretty big bag of Yieldly at one point, mostly because the airdrop. We all got an airdrop at one point if you were in early on it. And Coop is on the top of the charts. I've been thinking about Coop. It's a very interesting project, as a lot of you probably know. It's from Coop Daniels, who runs the Recoup YouTube channel, and he started this. I don't know a lot about it. I don't know why he started it, but from what I read, it was supposed to be a joke about the meme coins, but then kind of took off and had a life of its own. It was supposed to make fun of the meme coins. He distributed all these coins, and then the point was he wasn't going to keep any for himself. So in the distribution wallet should have 0 coins. Which is interesting. You can see it's up. It's been improving. People are really going nuts over it, and it kind of made him a meme. Just like the Pepe Frog became the meme. You saw the Pepe Frog everywhere on Twitter and social media. Now you see the Coop coin. Really, that's very interesting, I think. So that's the top of the charts. Just out of quick curiosity, I'm very curious what what it is by market cap, because I think it's changed. Yeah, this X from Extend is now #1 in market cap. Had a huge pump over the last 24 hours. That's really interesting. Circonomics, that's also very interesting. And these are worth a lot. These two are worth almost $1 a piece. And then you get the Pepe, and Pepe is like not even, it's less than, what is that, 1/10,000th of a cent? And that's #3 on the market cap. But otherwise, this is what's kind of weird. On the market cap, you have to go down a little ways before you see stuff that's really common, like Asia Reserve Currency. That was the top of the market cap for a long time. Oculus is on there now. And then Realio, Chips, Exoplanet. And of course, the ice cream truck is going by as we're streaming. So that is fun. That's what's going on. All right. Quiet day today. Everyone must be out partying. I understand. Let's see what else we got. All right, so I'm going to introduce this next one. So give me just a second here. So this comes from Algo Tabasco, and it's kind of just asking the question, what is wrong with Algo? And by what is wrong, we're talking about price. And this is what has vexed me since day one of covering Algorand. Why, if it's such a useful coin, and it's easy to use, it's really inexpensive, it's very fast, does everything you would want it to do in a crypto, why is the price so low? Why does it struggle in price? This is something that has always vexed me. It always vexed me why more people weren't talking about Algorand. Because when I found Algorand, I was like, hey, this stuff actually works. I can actually use this coin. I can actually do stuff in the Algorand ecosystem. Not that that always works out well. As you can see from my series of Algorand experiments that's going on right now, we just released the video for week 10, so please do check that out. But yeah, I think Algo Tabasco is a very interesting take here, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so Algo Tabasco says, honestly, does anybody know what is wrong with Algo? All crypto market is pumping, and Algo can't even hold 1 hour 100 EMA. This really is a cursed coin. Is it because of VCs, foundation, like what? In for the Algorand tech, cry every day with Algorand price action. And I think that's fair. I think that's really fair, because this has been something that's been a struggle for Algorand, and a lot of people in the Algorand community don't want to admit it, and I wish it wasn't true. Like, but it seems like people can't separate the fact that Algorand has really, really useful tech, and for some reason, people just aren't buying it, and they're just not super, super, super excited about Algorand. Let's look at this chart now. Okay, so yeah, here's Bitcoin's one day, and this is of course a little outdated now, but that was Bitcoin pumping up, and then this is Cardano. Cardano did really well, and yeah, there's Algorand, and it's just not holding that price line, not doing what the other coins are doing, and that's a real bummer. And then we can take a look at what some people had to say here. This friend freshandfit.algo said apparently AVEX paid people to FUD Algorand. But it's not FUD. You can see the data's right there. It's right in front of you, and it's been there all along. Because you're bored, he's an interesting account to follow. It says, I've told everyone for over a year. This one is interesting. This is less speculation. Someone who, well, I mean, it is speculation, but at least it's more productive than just going, oh, it's FUD. He said this is the seller spider. Algo says could be lack of ETH and BTC liquidity, not tying Algo to ETH or BTC when they move. That's possible. Could be that every ETH or BTC whale just is annoyed at Algo and refuses to invest out of spite, even shorts it to keep it unattractive to investors. Maybe, who knows? Either way, it's extremely easy to develop scalable utilities. I guess it is. And then he says 2030 is far ways away. Yeah, so I don't know what to make of this, and something you might just decide, hey, I don't really care. I think this is a great project. I'm going to keep investing in Algorand because I believe in the tech, and the tech is very, very good. I had an hour-long stream with interview with John Woods, and if anyone can drive excitement for Algorand, I think it's John Woods. He is very good at. I left that conversation just excited for Algorand in a way that I hadn't felt in a little while. So it's very good because they got stuff going on. They're talking, and then he's very good at talking about those things and why they matter and why they're important. And he has an excitement that gets you excited. So I'm really like AlgoKit. I mean, great stuff. Awesome that it's live. Version 2 will be coming out before the end of the year. One-touch nodes is going to make it much, much easier to actually run a node. Hopefully, so easy that you literally push a button and it goes. But even they released it, or should come out soon, an easy version of node creation. Not quite the one touch that they're promising. That's more like the end of the year, as I recall. And quantum proofing is really interesting. So lots of really cool things going on in Algorand. People just, I don't know, it just doesn't get the excitement because I think John Wood should be speaking more. I'm glad he did. He went on the Big Boy Crypto show, which I covered, but it was a great appearance. And then, of course, he came on my show, and we talked for about an hour. Probably could have talked 2 or 3. He's just one of those guys that he's very engaging, and he has a lot of good stuff to say. We talked about the ISO 20022 stuff, which was, that's just one of those things. It's still out there. And you can watch that video if you want to see more. I'm not going to belabor that. Anyway, also getting in on this was AJ from BitBoy Crypto. AJ is a big Algorand influencer in the BitBoy Crypto space. He's a big fan of Algorand, and usually is pretty positive. Today, not so much, and we're going to take a look at that as well. All right, so this is from AJ Wright Crypto. AJ Wrights Crypto. Great creator on here. He likes Algorand, but he likes some other projects as well. I saw him talking about Quant recently. I think he likes HBAR as well. Maybe Near, I hope so. He says, don't get me wrong, I love Algo, and especially Algo fam. This isn't a breakup. I don't plan on selling. I haven't said much because there is zero hype coming from those who are paid to generate it. It's sad. They don't care about hype. They should. Algo needs a champion. Yeah, and this goes back to Decipher when we had the AlgoFam chat live at Decipher the day before the conference really started. That was something I brought up because the CEO at the time of Algorand Inc., so not Stacey Warden, not the foundation CEO, but the Inc. CEO, drawing a blank. Ford, John Ford. I think it's Sean Ford. Yeah, Ford. Ford is his last name. He brought up that we've really focused on the tech and kind of ignored the hype. And I said, well, I don't know if that's a good idea. This is crypto, man. You need to get people excited about it. Like I said, I think John Woods has probably done the best job of that. And he's the tech guy. He's not supposed to be your guy that's in front of the cameras. But I think they've started to kind of figure out we should let this guy do more tech stuff or more outreach because you need that person. And sometimes it is the tech guy. I mean, say what you want about Buterin. I think he gets people excited about Ethereum. Charles Hoskinson gets people excited about Cardano. And Sony A7mkII, by the way, when I saw him speak live at Decipher, he is very compelling. He's a great speaker. You feel like you're in the presence of a genius. I don't know if he's the salesman, though. Like Charles Hoskinson, he's a compelling dude. I listened to all 5 hours of his Lex Friedman podcast because it was really interesting. I listened to the Silvio one too. It just wasn't quite as easy to follow. And Hoskinson is just one of those people that's got the nerdy tech stuff down, but he's also very compelling. I think John Woods is that too. By the way, John Woods worked at Cardano and Ethereum. So very interesting background. Good guy to have on. Good guy to have on Algorand. You need a little more of that, or people that just can go out there and say, hey, here's what's going on. I get no contact from the foundation. I mean, I got one of the biggest Algorand channels here, and I hear nothing from the foundation except for John Woods. John Woods actually reached out to me to come on the channel, which is really cool because he liked the video I did. But I don't know why I never hear from, you think you'd get like a message saying, hey, we got this thing coming out, you might want to talk about it or something. Just nothing. I get nothing from them. That's not the way this should work. I should be hearing from these guys. Yeah, Vinci Alvarez says John Woods is our champion. He's definitely our champion. Totally true. So AJ said that Algorand needs a champ. I think John Woods is that champ, but he's got all this technical stuff to work on, right? So he might not be the best person functionally, even though he definitely is the person to get people excited. Let's take a look at some of the reactions to what AJ said, because like I said, I basically agree with him. I assume when he says paid to hype it, I mean, I assume he's not talking about me because I ain't getting paid. I wish. Like people said. This person brought up Coop. The Coop and Algorand NFT projects are more than enough hype. Well, I don't think it is. Sorry. Algorand, the foundation, are focused on building an atom nuclear bomb equivalent of core blockchain tech without all the added waste like all the others. Perfection takes time, not on your time. It just says, I get your point, but I disagree. When leaders of Algo are coming out and saying they don't care about hype, it's hard not to get nervous. And I think he's right. I'm not selling. I'm just bummed that they're missing such a crucial piece of the puzzle. Hype is part of crypto. You might not like it. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Things aren't the way you wish they were. Things are the way they actually are. So I totally am on AJ's side on that. And they just flat out admitted it to me at Decipher that they don't think about hype. Well, you should think about hype in marketing. Every company has to think about this. How do you onboard people? How do you get people excited about your vision? This is talking about price. We'll just skip that. This person says that AJ is the champion. He says that means a lot. He also says this tweet is disappointing. This means a lot that you say that. I love Algo, but I'm not on the team. It's not my job to champion a community that publicly says that they don't care about hype. I don't think it's the community saying that. I think it's the foundation says. It kind of calls out the foundation without calling out the foundation, I think. I don't know what he says when he says paid to hype. I've personally never received a single cent from the foundation, just to be clear. not for Decipher, not for anything. Yeah, this one, you're hired, 100% agree with your post. Easily top 5 coin, but no hype. I think it should be right next to Cardano, myself. AJ says, I've had this conversation 100 times. It's time that someone who could drive the point home spoke up about it. Well, I've been saying it. I've been saying it over and over. I said it right to Sean Ford, the CEO of Algorand Inc. at the time. And, others like Adam Bergman have been saying this too. Adam Bergman has been shouting this from the rooftops. I've been saying this. We got a new CMO, and I don't know what's she doing. Like, I haven't heard anything from her. I haven't heard anything out of her. I'd like to bring her on the channel just to ask her, like, hey, what are you doing for the community? Like, I think she finally started following some people. She wasn't even following people in the Algorand community. I hope she built a list and was following the list or something. Because if you're not Twitter Algorand, that's like that's where the action is happening, along with Discords and things like that. So that's that, and then just to kind of cap things off, this comes from, well, let me pull that up. Sorry for the drinking water noise. I have to do it. Vince Alvarez says, Algorand Foundation Marketing did reach out to me for consent to use content from one of my tweets about AlgoKit. No payment involved. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. It's cool that they used it. I'm just shocked. Like, I've had no contact with them whatsoever, except for John Woods, which is cool, and I like that. And he would we would chat back and forth too. He was following me for a long time before that. We would chat over DM once in a while. It's like the only one trying to build a relationship, and that's really strange. And you could say maybe I should too. This is from Kyle Leese, and he says the price of Algorand isn't a marketing story; it's a supply story. I don't know about that, but let's listen. So here's the story: Algorand supply went from 1 billion circulating to 7 billion circulating. This was done to pay off obligations owed to the network infrastructure. These obligations were paid off earlier than planned. Algorand Foundation sold the top. Interesting. You may not like that this occurred, but if the company sold equity at its highest point to pay off debt obligations, you wouldn't call it stupid, you'd call it smart, because it is a smart move. And with the entire crypto market moving toward the bear, it seems that their read on macro conditions timing was excellent. If you look at the latest financial report, the foundation is in a surprisingly good condition precisely because it did what it did. End story. I don't know if that is the end story. What is the marketing strategy story, and is it working? For another day? That's interesting. Let's see if are there any other reactions to that. That's a good point. But for God's love, why sponsor some activities that have such low exposure? Chess, boat races, bikes. Come on, look at other coins sponsoring big clubs, Man City, Man United, etc. He apparently is going to talk about that more. Well, let me share my thoughts. That what he's saying might be totally true, and that might be a big part of it, but that wouldn't be having an impact right now. And frankly, one of the things that BitBoy DZ from BitBoy Crypto talked about on my channel, going back, you can watch that interview. Is a little bit of a disaster. My dog was just being a little hyper that day. Normally she's pretty good. She's actually laying down, sleeping right next to me right now. One of the things he said is like, hey, it was a botched launch from day one. It actually launched. I don't know how many of you know this, but Algorand launched at $3 and some odd cents, like 15 cents or something like that. And then it immediately crashed and has never hit that level since. Not in the last little run-ups we had remember when it was like $2, everyone was very excited. And still never hit that initial price that it launched at. So that may have had an impact all along. But I also think he's wrong about the marketing. Someone brought up like chess, boat races, bikes. By the way, did you know that Algorand is actually powering the IDE chess online platform? And what this is, it allows the people who are at the the higher levels of chess to play the number of competitions, the number of opponents that they need to keep their ranking or to make their ranking valid, all verified on the blockchain by Algorand. You know they were doing this? I didn't know they were doing this. You never hear about it. Again, marketing, not great. So when we talk about hype, it's like, yeah, we should define hype, by the way. When we're talking about hype, we're talking about talk about the cool stuff that you're doing. That's why when I say John Woods is a good champion, because he's talking about the cool stuff that they're doing, and he's doing it well. And he goes out to the people. Like they need to go out to the people more. We need to see Jessica out here talking and telling Algorand's story. We don't see that, or someone underneath her, whatever. But it doesn't, John Woods doesn't think it's beneath him. And I know this is like, it sounds like I'm like, giving a big love fest for John Woods, but the thing is, he's actually doing the thing that a lot of other people in the Algorand organization ought to be doing. So I've really gone off on this, I know, but I just think, I actually think the chess is a cool thing, but they just don't talk about it. But that's my thoughts on this, because I think if Algorand is going to be even a top 20 coin again, it needs to get that. You need to tell people about it. When you start a business, you can do everything right. If people don't know about you, you're going to sink. At some point, momentum can take over, and if you're really, really giving people a good experience, they'll come back. But you still got to let people know what's going on. You got to tell them. Algorand needs to work on that. All right, now we got some. Hey, here we go. I'll get some chats. Mammy52 says hi. What's going on, Mammy52? Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well today. And Patrick says, "What do you think about Stacy?" Oh, you want me to go on Stacy? I think she's very off-putting. I met her at Decipher. I met her twice. Both times, she was polite, but I sort of got the sense that she looked at me like I was something sticky on her shoe. Like I didn't, and then that's sort of the impression I got when she spoke too. There just are times, and there were times at Decipher, there's times since then where she's just a very off-putting person, not a great spokesperson. I didn't love the bike donation. I thought that was a strange use of resources for a blockchain that's trying to like get relevancy. So I don't love everything she does. I also think she gets like some really nasty criticism that I don't, like some personal stuff that I don't think is appropriate at all. So, it is what it is. She's obviously very intelligent. So, but beyond that, I don't want to like opine too much on Stacy. She is what she is. Some people have been calling her to be fired. I think that's extreme, but that shouldn't be her job either. Like there should be a public spokesperson. There needs to be like a point person, someone like a John Woods who's just like the go-to person. And this person is just telling the story. So that's what I think, Patrick, and I'm glad you're here, by the way. Yeah, Vince Albury brings up Nike. Agree, RHS. She's been at Algorand 6 months, only seen her do one interview. Yeah, I think she did the interview with the Next Block folks, and then we haven't heard anything out of her. I don't see her online, which is fine. She doesn't have to be the spokesperson. She's the CMO, but I also don't hear about, hey, here's our new marketing initiative, or here's the cool thing we're doing. Maybe it's not in place yet, but someone pointed out earlier on that just they made a lot about her coming from Nike and these other, I think she worked on WhatsApp. And someone said well, when you're at a big team like that, it's not the same as if you almost want someone who has more of a startup experience, because they have to do the scrappy, hands in the dirt kind of work that you have to do at a small company because there's no one else to do it. And I've worked for small companies, I've worked for big ones, and I'll tell you, it's a big difference. You can get lost in the weeds at a big company, but in a little one, you gotta you pretty much have to wear a number of hats, and you get a lot of experience, and you also get really good at managing a number of different things and being flexible and figuring things out, being a real problem solver. So I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, Stacy is good. Patrick says Stacy is good for partnerships, not so much for being a spokesperson. I think that's true. I mean, it shouldn't have to fall on someone like John. It really shouldn't. Well, let's get to other. Oh, Pedro, sorry, says I think Algo tries to play by the rules. Welcome to the show, by the way, Pedro. Good to have you. Good to have you here. He says I think Algo tries to play by the rules in a space that's the Wild West. It just doesn't work like that. They need to hype everything they're doing, like tech upgrades, partnerships, and so on. Yeah, I don't know if it's about. I mean, I'm glad they're playing by the rules. I would say that well, it's very good tech. Like I said, it's never been down like Solana. They're very honest. I think they've been honest. I don't think they've really lied about things like Solana has. With like actually having double the supply they initially claimed. They said 8 million. It's actually 16 million. So I agree with that, Pedro. I definitely agree. But hype, like everyone, marketing, like everybody needs to do that. Any kind of company, whatever you call Algorand, the organization Algorand also needs to do that. Cardano, I mean, look at it. Charles Hoskinson does like his own, basically has his own YouTube channel that he updates like what every week, maybe more. Like I'm pretty sure he's a busy dude. So I think the one of the issues is maybe that the founder is not really the guy running the ship. You know what I mean? He's sort of the genius behind the scenes, whereas Hoskinson is kind of the genius sitting in front of center stage. So, all right, we really need to get on to some other news here. So let's see what we got. Yeah, maybe a little trouble in Commodore land. So let's. A person named Frigsy Reynolds on Twitter had this to say about Commodore, saying there may be some problems. Commodore has sort of pushed back on this, but then also kind of admitted there were some problems. So let's take a look here. By the way, guys, if you hadn't hit the subscribe button and the like button, I would really appreciate if you do those things. It really helps the channel. Help you because you'll be able to see our live streams all the time, plus our regular show, regular content. We've got our Algorand DeFi experiment going on right now. So if you wouldn't mind hitting those buttons, I'd appreciate it. Like I always say, you don't have to smash them, you can just press them gently. All right, so this is from Frigsy. He says, Frigsy Reynolds, he says, everyone in Algorand that uses Commodore needs to be aware that there has been some really questionable, if not criminal, things happening with their platform, as they've been recently caught stealing funds from their own customers and users. By the way, gotta be really careful when you say stuff like that. This is Frigsy saying it, not me. He's making criminal accusations, and could be, if he's not being truthful about that, he could be liable for libel. They've also implemented a 1% fee of the total pool you start on their platform, and not only will they dump those tokens on your project and aid in taking its price, they actively do. The inflator funds were stolen before the fee was implemented, so it seems that after it took them a week and a half to make the pool even visible on their platform, they just stole the rewards that should have been distributed in that time, stealing from both the creator and the user. Furthermore, the issue of stolen funds was raised to the team several days ago, and there's nothing but silence on their end. And I'm not sure what this point is, but it says to me this whole situation is completely unacceptable, and I must warn that if you choose to do business with Commodore moving forward, then you, in my honest opinion, are taking a multitude of risks that you would likely prefer not to take. This is an ongoing issue, and it's entirely possible that it's some wild and crazy misunderstanding. We'll get to that. It kind of looks like a bit of a misunderstanding, maybe some bad communication. But the lack of communication and effort from the team make it impossible to draw conclusions in that direction. Be warned and be safe. So Rich Flares TV.Pepe says, this is garbage. I've already spoken to you about the team working on it. Rushed to Twitter to claim them to be stealing. Coward move. Says, what's the deal? He says it's misinformation. Trixie says, what's in the information? Was this just all a made-up situation? Nobody's tokens were actually taken? You need to take a serious look at the position you're taking here for what, a few hundred algo a month. This will also not be forgotten. Okay. And here Commodore responds. In a couple, let's get to this bottom one first. He says, okay, hey, we should have announced an increased fee. That's true. PR mistake, and we will correct that. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Still, information about the fee is shown on the website. We did not take more. And Frigsy says, well, may it be a good idea to announce that fee before you retroactively applied it to a pool created before you implemented it. Why do you have over 620,000 inflator? I think this is his coin. When if that fee applied, it should only be 60,000. Sometimes we have a pool creation errors when a pool is created but is not shown in the UI. In that case, all rewards are going back to the creator wallet. It cannot take them. Fees are raised exactly to have funds, fix bugs, and make a few new features. Frigsy says, please keep me updated as to if and when you receive your funds back. He's talking to someone else. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Looks like I know that Kamada announced some layoffs not that long ago, so they could be having problems on the tech side. Hopefully, it's all just a misunderstanding. I briefly met the founder of Kamada at Decipher. He seemed like a nice guy, but a lot of people do when you meet them, and I didn't get to speak to him very long. So, like I said, hopefully it's just a big misunderstanding. Kamada is one of our DeFi crypto projects that we got going on right now. One of our experiments, I should say. And so you can go check out that experiment. We just released week 10 on Friday, basically tracking all these to see, do you really make money on these with the APRs, or does the coin drops cause you to actually lose so much in impermanent losses that you're actually losing money even though you're supposedly gaining it? And well, the results kind of speak for themselves. Let's see what else we got here. Vince Alvary says he used Kamada for the first time today and had no issues. Frigsy is a bit of a troll. Well, he could be. Yep. Patrick says poor Kamada launched in and only experienced the bear market. That's probably part of what happened and why they had to cut staff. I'm trying to think how long ago that was. It was like a few months ago. It was kind of right before all those crypto companies were starting to go. All the Algorand crypto companies were starting to go under, which we covered. All right, here's some Hedera news, some HBAR news. Some of you guys might have been waiting for this. One of the largest non-USD stablecoins is going to be launching with Hedera. I think this is really cool. This is good to see something really positive news for Hedera HBAR. And let's just look at the story. This comes via the blockchain reporter. StraightX collaborates with Hedera to launch its XGSD token. And if you're wondering what that is, it's Bitcoin up to 28,000 now. It was in the 27 range before. Interesting. That is I believe that is the Singapore dollar. So XSGD is basically the digital Singapore dollar. StraightX, as a result of, okay, hold on. They put that in a weird spot. StraightX, a platform that provides services related to payment with digital assets in Southeast Asia, has started an exclusive partnership with Hedera Network. As part of the collaboration, StraightX announced that its local XSGD, I'm really going to struggle with that, that's the Singapore dollar token, will now be supported on Hedera. Since the launch of the token back in the 2020s, October 2020, it has obtained considerable adoption. So actually, it's already out, but now it's going to be partnered with Hedera. As a result of this, the crypto token has surpassed the figure of 7 billion transfers on the chain. This categorized it among the biggest non-USD stablecoins in terms of market capitalization. That is pretty cool. So big good news for Hedera. I'd like to see that. I think we got some good Algorand news too, I think. Actually, no, we don't. Sorry, it's all bad news today. We've had some good stuff. We've had some good stuff happen lately with Algorand, though, for real. And then this one is saying, Ron DeSantis has announced that he's going to be supporting Bitcoin rights. And I assume, like many people, he's probably using Bitcoin as a euphemism for crypto in general. A lot of people, kind of like Kleenex and tissues, people say Bitcoin when they mean crypto. But let's take a look at this. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more because and this isn't to be political. This isn't to say, oh, this left, right, whatever. I'm not trying to do that. But the reason I want to talk about this is because crypto is starting to become a political and a partisan issue. which is unfortunate. I would like to see both parties supporting crypto because I think it's good for people, even if there are scams that are proliferating on some of these platforms. That doesn't mean that the technology is fun. I still think the technology is fundamentally a good for society. So, all right, let's look at what Ron DeSantis had to say. This is not an endorsement or anything. I don't endorse anybody on the show. Ron DeSantis goes crypto and says the Biden administration will kill Bitcoin, which kind of basically what I've been seeing from the left, people on the left. It kind of seems like that's the deal. Oh, you're gonna make me get a subscription. Anyway, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis officially launched his presidential campaign on Wednesday evening. Twitter Spaces, blah blah blah. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to read that. Let me see if I can find another one. This week, CoinDesk published one of the most thought-provoking and balanced articles on Bitcoin mining I've ever read. The report is focused on the Greenidge Bitcoin mining company in upstate New York, which was the center of a protracted media cycle last year after environmental activists claimed the facility was boiling the waterways and poisoning delicate ecosystems. You can't get to the point. Yeah, websites have become so terrible. Yeah, this one's no good. Why is this so hard to find a decent article? Here's the Coindesk one. This ought to help us out here. Hold on. That was good. Okay, here we go. Florida's governor. Oh, websites are so awful nowadays. Okay. Florida's governor and Republican Party's latest leadership candidate talked crypto and central bank digital currencies in the Twitter space with Elon Musk. And he announced his candidacy. And he says he's an advocate for crypto. The current regime currently has it out for Bitcoin, Ron DeSantis said during a Twitter space, which also included David Sachs. And if it continues for 4 years, they'll probably end up killing it. DeSantis said he views crypto as a question of civil liberties, and I do as well. I think we're definitely aligned on that. As Florida's governor, he signed legislation prohibiting the use of central bank digital currencies within the state. And by the way, although some lawyers question if the law does what it says, there actually are a number of states who have now signed this, where they're not going to allow central bank digital currencies. And I think that's a great thing. I think they're super dangerous. They're just going to make it so you can't, they can just censor you. They can stop you. They can stop you from transacting. I don't want a central actor controlling my money. It says, I just do not have the itch to have to control everything that people may be doing in this space. Bitcoin represents a threat to them. They're trying to regulate it out of existence. During the interview, DeSantis insisted on congressional authorization for CBDC, vowing to avoid it during his potential presidency due to concerns over its potential misuse to influence politically unfavorable purchases. Well, that's what I'm talking about. And you don't want, if you're on the left, you don't want someone in the right in charge of your money. And if you're on the right, you don't want someone on the left in charge of your money. You basically, let people buy what they want to buy, as long as it's not, killing anybody. Some have argued, however, that CBDCs enshrine constitutional protections over commerce, giving these unfavorable purchases or merchants, such as someone buying ammunition or pornographers, selling their creations, a defense against unbanking that can't be used when dealing with a private company. Regardless, CBDCs might be the newest wedge issue in U.S. politics. So I find this super interesting that now this is really becoming to the forefront of political issues. Obviously, it's not the forefront issue, but it's something that we're hearing politicians talking about in campaigns. I don't really think we heard that last year. So, or last presidential election, everyone was really focused on COVID, so it kind of dominated the conversation, and rightfully so. But CBDC scared the heck out of me. I will tell you that. We've already seen where like organizations like PayPal, even at the behest of government sometimes, or GoFundMe, they're just blocking payments to people, and it's your money. It's money that you're one person's trying to give you money, and they're blocking it because they don't like what you're saying politically. I don't think that's right, regardless of what it is. I don't care what side of the aisle it's on. I don't care, if it's super, Antifa on one side or the Proud Boys on the other. You have a right to your political opinion, and you shouldn't be censored financially because of it. I'm going to die on that hill. So let's see. Message retracted. Okay, let's keep going. I'm going to save some of these for. Oh, we can keep going. I just need a drink. Dormant $15 million. We'll skip it. We'll end with this one. I think this is interesting. I think everyone's sick of me ranting. Dormant $15 million wallet from Ethereum ICO wakes up after 8 years. All right, so I'm gonna set this one up a little bit. So this wallet, someone had an Ethereum wallet that had been dormant since the Ethereum ICO way back in 2015. This wallet's now being activated. It has $15 million worth of Ethereum in it, and people are using it. I just really find that fascinating. See, a dormant wallet purchased 8,000 Ether in the Ethereum ICO in 2015 has woken up and transferred its funds to another address. The wallet first made a test transaction with 1 Ether before sending the remaining 7,999 Ether to the address, as noticed by on-chain analyst Look On Chain. By the way, that's a practice you might want to adopt. That's something that I do when I'm doing something new in crypto. I always send a test amount before I send a large amount, just to make sure it works. It usually does, but just to make sure. When the owner participated in the Ethereum ICO or initial coin offering, the funds were purchased for around 31 cents per token. Imagine that, right? Just shy of 2,500 in total. That means the owner is sitting on 591,900% return on investment at current prices. That's crazy. By the way, I think that's why a lot of people want to get into the newest coin, because they want to know, oh, could this be the next, Ethereum? You never really know. The funds have been moved to another wallet with limited transaction history, and the only other movement in that wallet is a 270 Ether inbound transaction that was made only a few minutes earlier. These funds were sent from a different wallet that hadn't been active since 2017. So, yeah, super curious what's going on there. I think that's really, stuff like that is just kind of it just piques your interest, Nothing groundbreaking or nothing that's gonna, change how you think about things, but I just think it's interesting to see when stuff like that happens. All right, well, it looks like I think we're running out of steam here. I hope everyone is having a great Memorial Day weekend, and remember, this is the holiday to remember the soldiers that have fought for our freedoms. So I want to give a big shout out to them. And otherwise, you know what I say: not your keys, not your crypto. Keep your stuff off exchanges. Ledger for the maximum amount of safety. I have links down below for Ledger and all kinds of other things that can give you some benefits in crypto. And as always, I'm Frugal BC, and I will see you